I already know what you're thinking. Chig, it's 4:25 in the morning. What are you doing up? Well, I wanted to go to bed, and I still am going to go to bed, but I wanted to do one more show because I forgot one story, and then there's one story which I don't think anyone has yet reported on. And you guys know the real underground king of this story getting is me. I find these transfer stories and I bring them to light. And I figured, listen, it's not only the UK that listen to me. Some of you guys around the world who listen to me. So the Americans like Sergio Hernandez, I see you. Some of the Aussies in there, I see you too. So hopefully you enjoy this very, very early morning with Chig, where I bring you two more transfer stories that I've not talked about. Please do stick a like on this video as we go through these stories. Let's talk about Ousmane Dembele, the Barcelona winger who's 22 years old, French winger. Has had a miserable time since moving to Barcelona from Borussia Dortmund. Has attempted to obviously move from Borussia Dortmund in 2017 for a hell of a lot of money. I think it was like 134 million. No, yeah, something crazy like that. No, 112 million. I think it was. It was in the hunt. It was in the hundreds. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. He's struggled since. He has struggled. There's no two ways about it. But if including this season, apparently he's only played 438. Let me just get that number right because I probably haven't. He has played 492, excuse me, minutes of football. Now, I remember there was a story that came up in January that Liverpool were very keen on him. I know it came up the same sort of time that Uber to Liverpool came up because there's a belief that Klopp was trying to recreate the old Borussia Dortmund team. And obviously Ousmane Dembele was key to that. I never bought the Uber stories to Liverpool, but I could understand why he would look to go for Ousmane Dembele. I still think there's a talent there. Call me stupid. I do. I still think there is a talent there. Little worried about his injuries that he did have. I think it was last season and a little bit of this season. The confidence is shot. And let's face it, we already have a £70 million winger where the confidence is shot. There's an argument to say that we could potentially play one of these guys on the left wing, one of these guys on the right wing, particularly if Aubameyang does go. That's where you would think the money would come from. The money that they're talking about is 70 million, which obviously is a big drop from what Ousmane Dembele originally cost. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? I actually think he might be worth the investment. Call me silly. I think the talent is still there. Maybe someone like an Arteta would see this as a project that you can get into. Take two wingers with bags of talent, have them work together, have them understand each other's movement, and maybe create something special. And you get one amazing target man. Now, of course, that could be Uber. But I don't think Aubameyang stays, particularly if Real Madrid are interested. So I think you get a talisman, someone who's confident, someone who's got a bit of presence up top, someone who's strong, got a decent amount of pace. Maybe that Celtic guy could be it. I'm gonna lie, I've spoken to a lot of people about that Celtic guy. Lots of people like him. Who knows? But I would consider this. Don't get me wrong. Before people start to go off the chain and start reacting, yes, I agree. I think before you consider this deal, you have to get a Thomas Partey type. You have to get a defender. You possibly have to get a right back too. I agree with all those points. 70 million for a 22 going on 23-year-old player who once cost 100 and something mil. I'd be shocked if we can't get something out of Dembele. And I think if it is possible, someone to play on that left-hand side especially if Aubameyang goes. I mean, he seems committed to keeping Saka at left back. So I'm almost giving up on this dream of Saka as that left winger. So if Saka and Tierney are our left backs, maybe this could be the way forward, you know? I'm just putting it out there. Maybe this could be the way forward. You know, a tricky winger, and he's so good. Dembele is so good when he's in full flow. He's so good. What do you guys think, though? Let me know. I think this could be a good Arteta type of signing. Someone that can really get into him, understand him, and perhaps, listen, as much as I have a lot of reservations about Arteta, I do recognize the sort of projects that I think he'd enjoy. I suspect Dembele be one of them. My only reservation is I've not yet seen Pepe kick on like I would expect him to under Arteta. Maybe there's still a plan for that. I personally still think the plan is play Pepe as a number 10. I think you play him as that number 10, that kind of driving number 10. Why not? But it'd be interesting to see where they go. But for me, this represents an interesting option, and not necessarily an option I scoff at. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. I'll come to that in a second. Let me read one more story. Now, this is someone that I don't think will hit a lot of people's radar until it hits a lot of people's radar. Apparently, Arsenal are looking at, and I know about this guy because on the odd occasion I do watch Dutch football. Arsenal are looking at AZ Alkmaar's striker Myron Boadu as a potential replacement for Aubameyang. Now, this is according to Julian Lawrence, who has a checkered past at getting Arsenal stories right. But supposedly, this is a kid that we've looked at a while. He's 19 years old. And let me tell you something. When I say this kid is a goal-scoring machine, he is a goal-scoring machine. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's easy to be a goal-scoring machine in the Dutch league. Listen, for me, I've said this before and I say this again. The Dutch league ain't a bad league when it comes to looking at potential players. Don't get me wrong, you have the occasional duds. There's no doubt about it. But I think every now and again, you do find some gems. And the way this kid moves, if for me, I might leave him in the oven for one more season. Let's see how he gets on. And then maybe next season go and get him. Because I think he's got bags of potential. Bags of potential. So far this season, obviously, this season for everybody's come to a premature stop. But so far this season, he's played 42 games. He's scored 24 goals. He's provided 10 assists. So automatically, he's been involved so far. I need to add that part in 34 goals this season. He's played on average 92. Sorry. I was about to get that stat hugely wrong. So he scored minutes per goal tends to be 146. He usually has a completed pass rate of 83%. He tends to have a little under 3 shots per game. Shots per goal, it tends to be 4.39 shots per goal. Interestingly, no way. Oh, wow. Okay. So he's picked up seven yellow cards, 2 red cards. So he's a bit of an aggressive player. But I will say this. I'm going to lie. I'm very impressed by his attacking movement. It's very, very good. He's about 6 foot tall. Kind of reminds me of a nimble version of Ian Wright. And I know people will say, yo, isn't Eddie supposed to be that? Nah, this guy is that. You've never heard me call Eddie that. But this guy, I think, could be that. I think he's got very good movement on him. I don't think he's particularly good aerially. I'm not seeing him ever score any aerial goals. But actually, one thing I like about him, let me tell you what I like about him, to be perfectly honest. What I like about him is when he receives the ball, he immediately looks up. That's his go-to thing. He'll look up, he'll look at where the goal is, he'll look at where the goalie is, and he'll look to see if there is a better option before finishing is easily his strongest attribute. But actually, for me, it's more about the fact that he has a lot of awareness for his teammates. This kid will go for a lot of money, I think. I think the problem is if you go and get him now, someone say that's too soon. I like the idea of getting him now and almost doing a Saliba with him and telling him to stay one season. I think leave him under the oven one more season, but to me, keep an eye out on this. And this is someone that we've been linked with. Now, obviously, if Aubameyang goes, I'd want someone who's a little bit more experienced. At least the one thing I'll say for the Celtic guy, all right, it's a crap league, but at least he has experience of being at a big club. Because let's face it, Celtic are a big club. He's played in the Europa League and he's got some sort of experience at leading a team. This guy plays week in, week out, but it's in the Dutch league. I know AC Ousmane every now and again makes Europe, but, you know, I'm a bit more skeptical about a 19-year-old leading our striking team. But to me, watch out for this kid. Very, very good. And someone we've been linked with before. Actually, funnily enough, the story goes on to say Barcelona were keen on excuse me, let me try that again. Apparently, he's the number one choice for the Gunners hierarchy. I don't know about that. Apparently, he had an opportunity to sign for Arsenal last year and rejected the opportunity. Not because he doesn't like Arsenal, just because he felt he wasn't ready. Very much in a similar sort of vein to Jonathan David, or whatever his name is. So yeah, I think for me, I'm pretty. I like the kid. It's someone I have noticed before on a couple of occasions, along with Stephen Bergwijn, who's ended up moving to Spurs. These were two people I noticed straight away from the Dutch league. I think this is a kid you keep an eye on. I don't know if he moves this year, but give it a minute. I bet he ends up moving next year. Very, very talented kid. So let's see what happens. All right, I'll come into the chat room. I can't imagine too many people are there. Please do stick a like on this video, though. I'd appreciate it. Gosh damn, you guys, I'm going to assume you guys are all abroad because otherwise you need to go to sleep. Hey, Chig, hey, big up. Ben, I always thought you were a UK guy. Yeah, you are. Should get some sleep, bro. Him or Jonathan David? Ooh. Honestly, him. This Jonathan David thing is new, whereas this guy is continuously developed at a good rate. Jonathan David is 2 years older than him, and I think he's shown just as much potential, if not more. So, yeah. Look at Ben Boadu on FM20 is fantastic. I think the kid is very, very good. I had noticed him before. Even Ross Patrick, the kid is sauce. Him and Idrissi Young, exciting prospect, firing three, Boadu at the head of it. Oh, okay. Yes. Chig, and they only want 17.5 million. See what I'm saying, bruh? I think we should go for him, you know. When I say this guy is levels above Eddie Nketiah, he is levels above Eddie Nketiah. I'm no offense to Eddie Nketiah, but we're not talking about the same caliber of player here. Levels above him. Honestly, he's so good. Would I necessarily replace Aubameyang with him? I'm not sure about that. Would I replace Lacazette with him? Yeah. And if you just think about it. Let's say you do that, right? You replace Lacazette with him. Presumably, Martinelli is the guy that starts, or I don't know, we bring in this Celtic guy, Martinelli on the left, Pepe on the right. You've got this kid as a backup. Suddenly, our attacking lineup. Don't get me wrong, I agree. It's the last thing we should sharpen. But let's just say our two biggest superstars go, we need to sharpen our front tier, our front lineup. And like Ross Fitzpatrick says, for 17.5 mil. Oh, are you talking about Jonathan David? I just realized that's probably who you're talking about. Yes, because they do want him for that. I personally would purchase him. I mean, he's very, very good. To be honest, if we got Dembele, I'd stick with Uber, Martinelli, and Dembele. Okay. I could definitely understand that, Sergio. I like the idea of bringing in Dembele. You guys know this already. Again, let me look at it another way. If you brought a Dembele, for example, listen, Emmanuel, I love Balogun. I don't think he's going to make it at Arsenal. And it hurts me as a Nigerian to say that. But clearly they don't like him for whatever reason. And from my perspective, I hope he leaves, goes and proves how good he is. Because he's very good. Pep Balogun, very, very good. Chig Dembele, Pepe would be insane, 100%. I think if Arteta can get a tune out of him, work with both of them at the same time and get a tune out of them, just imagine that wing play. Imagine that wing play. Did you bring in an exciting, pacey striker up top? Oh, sheesh. Gosh, damn. You could even go to a 4-4-2 with it and play two strikers up top. Play a Martinelli and then play a really pacey. Imagine Martinelli and another pacey guy up top. Jeez. Aubameyang who? Aubameyang who? Gosh, damn. And it would just be a young, energetic team, which, let's face it, that is what the Kroenkes want to do. They've done it. They tried to do that for the LA Rams. They wanted to just build a young, energetic team. That obviously took them all the way to a Super Bowl final. My guess is that this would be the preferable choice for Arsenal, just building a young, bear in mind, Pepe's 24. So just building a young, energetic team. Maybe if you could get rid of Mesut Ozil's punk ass, put a number 10 in there. Or if you're going 4-4-2, forget the number 10. You bring in a party. You bring in a Solier. You put in two young centre-back defenders. You flog Bellerin and get a right back. You got Tierney or Saka there as a left back. Jeez! That team, all of a sudden, is built for war. It's built for war. Edouard and Martinelli partnership, absolutely. Let me spit one other bar though. Martinelli and a Boadu partnership. Jeez! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Even a Jonathan David one. All I'm saying, guys, don't dismiss it. But anyway, I wanted to just quickly do a quick show just to talk about those two stories because I ain't gonna lie, I completely forgot about it. Plus, it makes up for the fact that the show I didn't do on Thursday night, I've now done now. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Hopefully I've covered all the stories that I'm gonna beat people to. Please do stick a like on this video. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So sometimes you got a show any time of the day. Just so happens you got one at 4:45 in the morning. So enjoy it. I'll be back. I don't know. I might do a show tonight. I'll definitely do a show on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I'm going to get back to the reason I'm up so late. FIFA. I've been practicing. I don't like getting humiliated. So next time I play Lee, it's on. That's the reason I'm up so late. Anyway, I'm out of here, people. Take care. My Insta is Guna Eagle Eye. It's the name of the show, mate. Link is in the description as well. Oh, sorry, it will be in the description. Give me a second. I'll be in the description. But all right, I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.